That $278 car insurance quote that you're looking at, it can be completely wrong. Most people rush to the quote and they might miss one answer that is incorrect, and that can completely change the price before you even click to buy the policy. Let me show you how to get a quote that's actually accurate. Here's what most people don't realize. When most people get a car insurance quote online, most insurance companies are building the price based off the information that you give them. Your drivers, your vehicle, your driving history, and the coverage you're asking for. So if one of those are answered incorrectly, kind of estimated incorrectly, or just completely misunderstood, that $278 price tag might not be what you end up with at the end of the quote. I've seen clients blame the insurance company, and the real challenge for them is not realizing how accurate a quote needs to be. The more accurate information up front helps make the quote become a lot more useful in understanding what your rate can actually be. Because they do see tickets, they do see claims. However, there's other information that can be inputted incorrectly that can completely mess up the price. And that's why being honest about you having certain things, like if you have the tickets, be honest about it because they're going to see it. What we do is we pull multiple reports and we're able to see if you've had tickets, but we don't run those reports until after we've collected enough information about it. And then we run the second report. The biggest mistake people make when starting an auto insurance quote online is they kind of look at it similar to an Amazon checkout. Click, 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 cheapest option, submit. But you're not ordering a phone charger. Every insurance question is building the profile for you. How you use your car, how much you drive, who's driving, what vehicle you actually own, and what coverage are you comparing. So, rule number one, stop guessing. Before you open another quote website, take 5 minutes and gather the right information. As an insurance agent, here's what I would use in front of me before I start shopping. Driver's license, your current insurance declaration page, if you're already insured. This is a breakdown of all your insurance coverages, the company that represents it, your name, your address, the dates that you're covered. Also, you'll need vehicle information and ideally your VIN number. Usually, a lot of this information should be on the declaration page, so that could save you some time. However, if you don't have a declaration page and you don't have any insurance, then it's good to collect that information individually. We will ask about personal use on how you use the vehicle, if it's used for commercial use for business, if it's used for maybe commuting, what kind of commuting. Don't just click on whatever sounds cheapest. Answer based on how the car is actually used. If you have insurance already, it's super important to have your declaration page. You want to see what coverages you have. You want to see when your renewal is coming up. And then you want to, later on, I'm going to talk to you about how to compare accurately to make sure you're not just, paying for something cheaper, but for less coverage. You want to make sure that it's apples to apples, or sometimes even getting more coverage for less of a price. And that's the best situation you could be in my opinion. Now let's talk about one question that most people just fly through. You see this and you think, I don't know, 10,000, maybe 8,000 miles a year, and just move on. But don't just make up a number. Be a little bit more realistic about it. How far is your job? And roughly how far do you think you drive to regular places like the grocery store, for example, or maybe the gym or the park, different things like that. Here's an easy way to estimate. Think about just a normal week. How far is work? How many days do you commute? Kind of factor in your errands and also just your weekend driving. So, like I mentioned earlier, definitely recommend it staying at least about 10 to 12,000 miles a year. Anything less than 5 is probably going to require documentation. Don't look for the answer that gives you the lowest quote. Look for the answer that is true. Here's another area that creates so much confusion. The driver's connected to the household or the vehicle. Some people think, well, my spouse barely drives my car, I'm just gonna leave them off the policy. Or my adult child lives with me, but they drive their own car, so they don't need to be on it either. That's where you gotta slow down. Companies have guidelines based off of drivers and based off of household members. So don't assume someone should be hidden, added, or excluded because you think you're gonna get a better price. Answer the questions accurately. And if you're unsure how a household member should be listed, you can ask an agent like myself or an insurance company in general that can give you accurate advice that can help you before you buy the policy. Saving money on the quote means nothing if the information is inaccurate, because this means that it is not going to cover the things that you need and can also affect you later on when you try to file a claim, in which can cause you to sometimes having to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket, if not more, based off of how accurate the information you put in originally. Now, here's a really simple tip. Use your VIN, which sounds obvious. Yes, the annoying 17-digit number. It's all crammed together and it's sometimes kind of hard to read. Definitely use it. Why? Because instead of using just a general year, the make, the model, the VIN number can accurately specify the vehicle correctly. And that can definitely impact the price dramatically if the VIN number is not inputted correctly. There's been several insurance companies that I've seen when I review other clients' quotes, and the VIN number sometimes isn't listed correctly. And that could make or break the price. And also, later on, as I mentioned, trying to file a claim because they cannot classify that VIN number and the make and model of the vehicle not listed correctly. So that is very important. So if you're serious about getting an accurate quote, definitely don't be lazy about it. You can usually find the VIN number on the dash of your vehicle in the front where the state sticker is, or it can also be on your current insurance policy as well, and also your registration. Specific information creates a specific quote. Now, we need to talk about the biggest mistake because you can enter the driver correct, use the right VIN, estimate your mileage, and still compare your quotes completely wrong. Your coverage has to match. Let's say company A gives you $150 a month for the auto insurance policy. Company B says $210 per month. Easy decision, right? Company A wins. Not necessarily. What if company A quoted lower liability limits, a $2,000 collision deductible, and no rental reimbursement, while company B has a lower deductible, while company B has higher liability limits, a $500 deductible, and rental reimbursement? You're not comparing apples to apples anymore. You're comparing two different products. Remember when I told you earlier, grab your current policy if you do have current coverage? And by the way, for the people that don't have current coverage, no worry. You can always reach out to an agent like myself that can help guide you and let you know what coverages that you need and also find out how you can compare declaration page accurately. Remember when I told you to grab your current insurance policy? Here's why. Pull up your declarations page. That's going to be a full breakdown of all your coverages and also the insurance company. Look at your current liability limits, your comprehensive deductible, your collision deductible, and any additional coverages you have. Then use those same two selections when comparing those insurance quotes. Now you have a baseline. You're not just clicking random coverages, random quotes, and hoping that you get a less price. You're comparing the new quote against something that's real. This one step can make your quote dramatically more useful. Why your final price can change. Now let's answer the question everyone asks. Why did my price change? Why did my price change? I was quoted one number online and then I got a different price. Sometimes the initial quote is working with the information that is gathered. As additional information is confirmed and verified, the final premium can change. Your driver information, vehicle information, driving history, coverage selections, or discounts that need verification. That's why I treat the first number as a quote, not a promise. The goal is not getting the lowest number on your screen. The goal is getting a number that you can trust enough to compare. So here's the exact process I would use if I, as an agent, would be looking for my own auto insurance online. Grab your current policy and driver information, use the correct vehicle and the VIN number, answer mileage and vehicle use accurately, make sure the correct drivers and household members are addressed. Choose coverage limits and deductibles. Use those same exact coverages on every single quote. Then compare price, not before. So if your online insurance quote keeps changing, the vehicle shouldn't be the first thing that you blame. Go back and check the information on the quote because one rushed answer could make the quote just completely useless. Accurate information, then compare price. That's how you shop smarter. And if you want a simple checklist to help you review your car insurance coverage before getting quotes, I'll leave my checklist below. And if you want to know how to actually buy car insurance without making the mistakes that most people make, watch this video next.